I would like to say we have a new whiteboard, and it has been 1 hour on air since our last broadcast mistake.
Oh, let me update that.
Please update that from 0 to 1 hours on the air since our last mistake. Wouldn't it be so great if we got up to 16 hours? It'd be crazy.
Not possible.
What are you doing?
You're ruining.
I'm trying
She's
to manifest.
manifesting.
No.
Right.
That's
Beautiful.
A
I'm
typical
manifesting
lady.
it.
Sets the bar way up here. So every guy can just bang their head on it.
Preach it, brother.
Typical.
Amen.
Typical.
This segues directly into my first bad advice for you.
Oh, good.
I was so grateful, Sarah. I was so grateful to meet you at Third Love. This was a couple months ago. We did a thing at the bra store. It was fantastic. I know you probably hear it all the time, but after listening to you for over 25 years, I feel like if I had a sister, I would want it to be you. We have horses in common, immense love and gratitude for our passion, purpose, and profession in this world, but I don't have a John. That sounds so wrong, but my intention is right. Once upon a time, a good friend of mine shared with me that we don't get everything in life. So true. I love my family, friends, and the horses and kids in our program, but I was never fortunate enough to find a John. What the two of you have is very special. It's almost Valentine's Day, a day that shines a glaring spotlight on our ability to be in a relationship or not, which begs the question, what's wrong with those of us who aren't? I can't answer the question, but I'm confident that you guys can. This is from Linda from the Pony Express. And she is a delightful woman and cute as a button. Why? What is, I'm going to start by saying there is nothing wrong with anyone who is not in a relationship. And I think that's the first problem. I think that people feel like it's a metric of how successful you are as a human being. And it isn't. It doesn't happen for everyone. And I feel like that might be your whole problem. There's nothing wrong with you.
Well, I can speak as somebody who's not in a relationship. You do feel like a bit of a failure. Like I feel like a failure because my marriage didn't work out. And it is, you put a lot of pressure on yourself then to find, you want to find the right person. I think that when you don't have a relationship, it's not that something's wrong with you. It's that you have standards and you want someone to meet those standards. And you should. You shouldn't just jump into a relationship to be in one.
Just to be in a relationship.
Right. And it sounds like she's got good standards. She knows what she wants and what she doesn't want.
She has a very full life.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. As I'm telling myself that, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're fine.
Perfect.
You're perfect. Everything's great.
But you're right about the standards thing. Don't get in a relationship just to be in one. Mm-hmm. Wait for the right person. But on the other hand, don't rule people out on the first, they've got some mustard on the side of their mouth.
Yes.
Or they're wearing a seatbelt in their picture. Get to know people and be open to that stuff without wearing that sort of desperate stink of, I must be in a relationship.
I actually agree with Maddie. I have my friends who are single. It's because they know what they want. They're working on themselves and they're not going to settle for someone who doesn't meet their expectations. But one thing I will say is that if you have these big expectations, make sure that you, on the flip side, in a relationship, would be meeting those expectations. Hate to admit it, I'm not perfect.
What?
I know. And sometimes at home,
Well, she doesn't know how to read.
I can be really
that.
annoying. I can be grumpy. I can be a brat. I can be mean. And I'm not perfect. And so I don't expect my partner to always be perfect either. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to slip up. And we just have to give each other grace. We have to know that it's not personal. If it is personal, we need to work on where those issues are coming from. So I would say don't hold the person that you're interested in to a higher standard than you hold yourself.
Oh,
Nice.
that is a good point. Yeah, I think that one of the things that has always kind of bummed me out when you hear people talking about they're out on the dating scene and they want to find that person that they can also just mold into the thing that they need. And I think that is terrible. I think it's terrible. I think that I understand it's a common joke and girls will say, he's got some of the stuff. I just need to change what he wears, how he talks, who he's friends with, what he drives. And that is a terrible situation for both people.
Right. You want to be accepted. You need to also do some accepting.
It's hard, especially over time. Like I find myself in couples counseling. I was there yesterday, and I often think this shouldn't be this hard, but it actually is harder than you think. Like Sarah and John came out of the same town, the same place with the same friends, and I think that foundation has helped you to battle the world together. Like kind of it's us against the world, and it's
definitely
it's our old school.
We are a united front,
and I don't think everybody finds that. And I certainly didn't have that through. I was single forever and doing all the challenges that this career threw my way by myself. And so it's a very different scenario when you meet someone and you're trying to bring them into the mix. You've got to be able to be generous,
right,
and be accepting of their not understanding everything that you've been through. There's a lot of work needed to be partners long term. And
absolutely.
If you're going into it with, I like him, but I don't like the tattoos, so we're going to get those removed. And I like him, but his job, it doesn't work for me. You're already off on the wrong foot.
Right.
I think.
I feel like it's become this weird hobby that people have now, just like chasing a relationship. Like it feels like this important, like I want partnership, I want this. But actual partnership is a total give and take. And that's when the challenge starts. Like, okay, now you found someone to date. Now challenge yourself to find ways to accommodate the things that their quirks, and hopefully they'll find ways to accommodate yours. And then you find that maybe you're like a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Like this person's very different from you in this way, and somehow the two of you can balance each other. I don't know. I just feel like this whole people who are on a search for love and it's just consuming them, when they find it, they're like, oh crap, I have no hobby anymore. You know, what do I do? You thought it was going to solve all your problems, but really, try to be a whole person coming in and accept the things that the other person brings.
Some text, 650. I'm Vinny's age, and when people ask me why I've never been married, because rudely they do, I always tell them that I could have been divorced 3 times.
That's another thing that's interesting, just as a dude who has a wife, who has a ton of friends, is and it's only this little world that I'm looking at when I say this, so please don't take this the wrong way. She has a ton of professional single friends that are now, not only we've been together a long time, I've watched them go through saving eggs. I've watched them go through, I think that train has left the station now. Now I'd maybe just like to have a partner. I've watched them go through all of this to only find themselves still single. And it's really a bummer because I know they value it, but I also know they value their careers. They've built themselves
absolutely
and become something, and they've got money, and now they're just looking at, how do I bring someone into this mix? And for a woman, maybe it's not as easy as it might be for a guy. I don't know, but I know they're out there single and want and don't have.
I feel like the thing I would say as Valentine's Day is tomorrow is find joy in your life and what you have going on, whether you have a partner or not. That, this is the person who has written here, Linda from the Pony Express, she's lovely and she has a lot going on. And when you start to pine or wish or, maybe sometimes you stop looking for something and it comes to you because you have such joy with the other things that you have in your life. Like you've created a life around you, take a minute to really appreciate that and find the joy in that. In case that is all there ever is.
Well, let me add this.
It's enough. It's worth it.
First of all, absolutely count your blessings. I know that sounds dumb, but if you've got a lot in your life, then you've got a lot in your life. The other thing I would say, and Maddie might know a little something about this and be able to comment on it. I've certainly had this feeling on my own. Being lonely sucks.
It does.
Being in a marriage and lonely, or being partnered up and lonely, sucks even more. Like now you're with someone, you're locked into this thing that you forced a round peg into a square hole because you felt like this would be the thing. Everyone thinks you're supposed to be married, and now you are, and you're miserable because you didn't pick a partner that was going to compliment you. You picked someone that you could get down the aisle.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
terrible.
relationships are work too. The best kind of work, but it is work. You're in it. Now the work starts.
Yeah. And the lonely part is true. I mean, it's like this weekend. I'm like looking at my weekend. I'm like, I have no plans. This is a 3-day weekend. What am I going to do with myself? And then I'm like, reach out to some friends. I got to do something. I got to find something to
Play
do.
tennis.
Yeah. And then the being married and lonely, like I was with we were really good partners. But the minute it was just like nothing was changing, and I brought up like, hey, I kind of feel like nothing's moving or changing, and we're not evolving. Then it was an explosion. It was like, no, everything's fine, and like you can't have that. Like one person can't. Like both people need to. Like you're doing
Be
counseling.
fulfilled from it.
Like
Yeah.
You're saying she dug in when you brought up the things that needed to get better.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, and she had a laundry list as well, and I did I felt like I was doing the work. I was trying, I was doing what I could, and
You have to
And
want
she
to be
wasn't.
in a partnership.
Yep.
Right? Like I have always known that I wanted to have somebody in my life who I could rely on to like pick up the slack when I just can't keep carrying it, and support each other in, infinite ways like that. But you also don't need to have a partner. And if you've made it, this far in life, Linda, without having a partner, you don't need one. And if you're happy and you're fulfilled, that's amazing. Maybe just have, cute boyfriends instead.
Right. Don't go on every date thinking, can I marry this guy or what?
Exactly.
All right. Next up.
There's another one.
One more.
We're doing bad advice,
We
everyone.
are. And you can email us your problems, badadvice973@gmail.com. Hello, radio friends. I need some classic bad advice. Here's the situation. I dated a guy in my early 20s for about 5 years. Life happened, we broke up, and we both went on to marry other people who, ironically, were both the people that we started dating right after we broke up. So their next boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. We both divorced in 2018, and we're now both in our early 40s. Since September, we've been getting together for lunch about twice a month. Every time, it's easy. So this is her and this old boyfriend from 20 years ago.
Right.
Every time it's easy. Great conversation, lots of laughing. It feels comfortable and familiar in the best way. We're both single, no drama, no weirdness. Here's the problem. I don't know what this is. Are we just nostalgic friends who like tacos? Or are we slowly redating each other without acknowledging it? He hasn't tried to kiss me, but to be fair, he was always shy and never made the first move even back in our 20s. I was usually the braver one. So tell me, are we friends? Should I bring this up? Should I just go for it and kiss him? And if so, how does a 40-something woman smoothly initiate without feeling like she's back in middle school? Help, or at least entertain yourselves at my expense. Yours forever with overwhelming feelings of concern. S from Pleasanton, listening via the podcast.
So it's safe to assume she wants
Yes,
this
that's
to be
what it
more
sounds like
than
to
it
me.
is, right?
They're reconnecting. They're seeing each other fairly regularly, and she's like, "What's going on here?"
Well, that's the way she worded it. The question is, what's going on here? Not, I want this guy. Like she's not saying, I want this guy.
I know.
Right, outright, but it sounds like that's what she's getting
It does
at.
sound like it. It sounds like if he made a move, she'd be like, "Okay, it's on."
Right.
Yeah.
But she doesn't maybe want to wreck whatever new friendship they've kindled. Does a dude serially take someone to lunch for no reason other than friendship? And they're both single
No.
and they used to date?
Well, they can. They can. I mean, I think that's possible. But
Just
I
a
also
friend.
think, listen, I'll say this as a person who feels this in a big way. We've watched through the Me Too, through our own development as a teenager and growing up, and then through the Me Too movement and beyond, we've seen how we're seen. The Bear
I'll take the
is a
Bear.
good example. So I feel like it's gotten harder and worse for dudes in terms of just trying to be a decent guy. I like
To
her.
not make the wrong move.
I like her. I don't want her to see me as
a predator.
yeah. Like, sheesh. So maybe she does need to make the first move because if he was already shy and now he's, has some years under his belt and has seen how we're seen, he might just be like, you know what? I like getting to see her. I like being around her.
And I hope it leads to something else.
Who of us hasn't had a crush where you just like being around someone and yet you do not want to ruin it?
Right.
With the old, I'm going to try to tongue kiss you.
What about this? Tell me, me and you, we're sitting at lunch. We're these people in this thing.
Yeah.
And everything's very pleasant. And when the food is delicious and what a fun taco joint this is. What would be a good opening line from her that you would be?
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
You're waking up with Sarah and Vinnie.
That you might, without destroying the entire friendship, like what could she say that would give you the clue that if you were open to more, I might be too?
I would have to think on it to really come up with something that would be useful for her. These are hard situations. That's the point I'm making, is it's a hard situation to overcome. I do believe that he just needs to say, I like you.
What if he never gets the balls to do it?
I think she needs to.
Yeah, why can't she make the first move?
She can, but I'm just saying, I think that's what it kind of has to be, is not just, I like you. I'm starting to really like you.
What if she starts with things like, just to make it really clear, I really enjoy our time together. I'd even like to do more of these lunches and maybe a dinner.
Something at night.
Yeah, like something at night.
I'll give you this. He's been hanging out with her. They're both single, and he hasn't sent a dong shot to her. Like, he may be a keeper.
What? Oh my God.
No, he's saying that is right. I know
so
that is the freaking bar, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh God, are you kidding? What world do you live in, Bob?
She's
Boys are
partnered up.
doing that the second they meet somebody these days.
No, they're not. And do not
Oh my
encourage that.
God.
And you should never send an unsolicited picture like that.
I've not done that. But I've been in this experience. I had a few of my exes surface up when I, got
Separated.
separated.
Single, yeah.
And we have rekindled friendships, but I don't know. I just can tell, like, this is just a friendship. Like, we're not,
The fact that she's questioning it might be a giveaway right there.
I think he's being super cool and like really might be
Playing
a
it
keeper.
slow.
And
Yeah.
I would say, take it slow. This is such a cool, unique experience to be reconnecting with someone who knows you really well from a long time ago. What's the rush? You got plenty of time. Keep enjoying each other. Maybe start to bring in some body language, like hold eye contact a little longer, smile a little bit differently. Maybe start to flirt a little bit with your body language and see if it's reciprocated.
Hold his hand. That's the sign for a guy.
I'll
Grab
give
my-
you one.
grab
That's
my
fine.
hand.
That's awkward if it's unwelcome.
Yeah, that is weird. But I will say, on
That's
a
what I do.
similar note, maybe sit next to him instead of across the table. Like something small, and that can be. It's really hard to get over that hump when you're trying to be respectful and cool. Like, unfortunately,
And not ruin a friendship,
It may
potentially.
involve you just stepping out on a limb and saying, I like you, and then hoping that he's like, thank God.
Let's go to a hotel right now.
He seems to be very respectful and trying to keep his cool.
And you're seeing each other
like
regularly.
I realize it's pretty immature to go sending pictures, but it is what people do, especially if now you've been together. Like, they have history, right?
20 years ago, they dated for 5 years.
Oh, that's
Yes, and they were, let's see.
So cool. I
think
love
that
this.
she needs to bring it up. I mean, just
No, she doesn't, because
Yes, she
she
does.
needs to think about whether or not is it worth losing the friendship?
you don't have to lose the
And
friendship.
we
That's not true.
They
You
broke
might.
up for a reason.
Okay,
and
in
you
their
need
20s.
to really think about, but we are who we are. So think about you and what you have to offer and whether or not this is something you're ready for, or this is just going to be sort of this weird, convenient rekindling. Like, really, I kind of like
That's
what
a
you're
pretty
saying.
good point that you did break up before. You did break up once.
Yeah.
for a reason.
And then married the next people you both dated.
From the 510, I currently have been friends with a lady I met last year. We're both in our late 30s and hang out and kiss from time to time, but we're still just friends. That's weird.
It's not weird. It's just that's
Kind of
their
weird that
well,
they're kissing, but they're just.
But it doesn't sound like they want more.
I like it. I approve and support.
you got the Bob stamp of
There's
approval.
all sorts of types of relationships we can be in. We don't need to just be getting married just because we like kissing each other.
And Vinny
is
says,
for sure.
we just don't need to get married.
Well,
What's the rush, everybody?
I said that, and then here I am married. So you know,
Well, you already had 2 kids.
right?
415. Vinny has so much to learn from Bob.
What do you mean?
So out of touch with the modern world.
Don't we
Nobody
all?
said that.
They did. Right here, 415.
All right. Thank you for your letters. I really appreciate. And people, there are ones that I won't ever get to that have poured out their problems, poured out their hearts. I hope that that's in and of itself kind of cathartic. But please send your problems to badadvice973@gmail.com. They're very much appreciated.
This week is rough because I don't feel like either had a clear-cut answer.
I know.
They're
I felt
both-
like we just really encouraged Linda, and then this one is we don't know.
Well, Linda
Just keep
represents.
seeing her.
My point of bringing up my wife's friends is that Linda represents a lot of very successful women out in the world who are making it and doing
in
great.
every way, but the one way that they think they're missing.
And then they don't have that partnership that they'd hoped for, and it's like, are you going to bring in some damaged goods to a life that's fairly or
That's
pretty
rolling,
well developed? You shouldn't. That's for sure. You know, that's a tough one.
Wake up! Thank you. With Sarah and Vinnie.